All right. What is going on, fishing family? We are now live with Bubba from Bubbaville, Bassin. It's nice to see everyone is coming to the room, the chat, and I see we're drawing a little bit of a crowd, which is awesome. Bubba's always good to see you, brother, and glad you're able to come on here.
Glad to be here, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Man. This thing just seems like it's been a long time planning, and we're finally getting a chance to do it. Oh man.
Yeah.
So all right, so let's just we're gonna copy. Okay, we got Two Infinity that was saying howdy. We got Optimized Outdoors. Shane, of course, being Shane. And I think we are joined. We actually have a special guest in the chat. I think Miss Bubbaville's mom is in here.
What's up, Mom?
Hey, Miss Kathy. Oh man, that's great. To Infinity said hey to you.
Oh, what's going on, Infinity? Yeah, he's that right there, that kid right there. He's actually a kid in our ministry group at work that comes and fishes with us. Every couple weeks.
That's awesome. How are you, Infinity? Welcome to the stream, man. It's good to have you here. Oh man, no, it's like this is awesome. We actually got a good, little number of people in here.
How many we got? I can't.
Well, right now, it's saying 7 on YouTube. We don't have any on Facebook. They know the Facebook viewers normally jump in a little later. It's Facebook's weird like that. She says, "Yes, we are," and thank you. All right, all right. That's awesome. Thanks. No, you're welcome, Infinity. Moms and Optimized moms are the best supporters. Yes, they most certainly are. All righty. Well, guys, as you know, Bubba and I are the topic tonight is the summer bite, because you guys know it is the dog days of summer now, where it is just miserable out. But being able to know how to adapt to that bite is super important. And if y'all are paying attention to Bubba's Instagram photos and even his videos, you notice this guy is landing tanks quite regularly. So I brought him on here because, I could use some help. It seems like all I'm catching are gators and jack and, one small bass. So I could use a little bit of help and knowledge for that summer bite, which Mr. Bubba seems to be an expert on, because he's constantly, what was that, a 6-pounder is what you've topped out at right now for the summer?
Yeah. The biggest bass so far is 6 pounds.
6 pounds. He's topped out at 6 pounds this summer. That is awesome, dude. Yeah, I can hear you fine, dude.
Okay. Yeah, 6 pounds. 6 pounds is the biggest one we've caught so far. My buddy Picnic, that actually is in the videos with me quite often now. We actually caught 2 605s in one day. Like, exactly. I wouldn't want to say they're twins, but their markings are just totally different. One was more golden, and then one was more, it had the black lateral line on it. But I actually caught that 6-pounder on. If y'all want to go check it out, you go to Bassin on YouTube.
Yes, please make sure y'all check that out. Yes. Y'all, please make sure y'all check that out. I will put a link down below in a little bit. I just want to go ahead and kind of get the conversation going before I start fiddling with the keyboard. But, and of course, Infinity. I think, he is really good at fishing. Yeah, he is, man. One thing I will say, but hands down, he's probably got the best pitching technique or flipping technique out there, or pitching and flipping technique, because he makes it look like it glides.
Hey, I'm not trying to poke fun here, but you got a good gator game yourself.
Yes, and it was not intentional. It was not intentional. If you're watching game wardens, it was not intentional.
But if any of my subscribers are in here, just type in "fishing with Fitz," and he's actually probably going to be the second "fishing with Fitz," because there's another kid that has the same name. But if y'all want to go subscribe to him, that'd be awesome. Great dude, and check out his gator video. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, Russell says he's went ahead and followed you, and he's checking your channel out after this.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Russell. Optimize Outdoors, dude. You gotta check him out. This happened a while back, but it still blows my mind. Someone actually took a shot at him Like him and I think it was a family member or something. They were fishing in a public area, and someone literally went and popped 2 shots at them.
Really?
No kidding. It still blows my mind. I mean, I bring up Russell every time. When whenever we talk about carrying for protection while we're on the water, because by law it is allowed for us to carry when foraging. But like I said, it still blows my mind the fact that someone shot at him. I mean, and like I said, it was just random. They were just fishing, and the guy came over the bridge and just popped 2 shots at him for at a random.
Did you see that one video? I think the dude was either in Canada or somewhere up north, and they were fishing, and you could literally hear the gunfire and hear and just like hear it hit the boat, and then one shot across the water, and the dude was like, "Hey, we're fishing. What's your problem?"
No,
did you see that video?
No, I didn't see that one. You have to send me that. Dude, yeah. I hate to say this. I mean, whenever like confrontations are in videos, it's normally clickbait. I mean, yes, sometimes there are certain confrontations, but I mean, when they sit there and say, "I literally got shot at," you're like, "Yeah, right." And then Russell really got shot at. I'm like, holy crap! Like they even showed. I don't think they showed the guy. I don't think they showed the guy getting arrested, but I know he did get arrested. The guy, the idiot, actually came back to the scene of the crime. So, but no, like honestly, yeah, you have to send me that later. Oh, hold on. Yeah, Russell actually said, he goes, "We were kayaking in Urban Creek. They even came back." Dadgummit. Well, anyway, let's get into that because, like I said, honestly, I could go into a whole spiel talking about Russell's encounter. Not that it's not something we should talk about in the future, but anyway, all right. You've been sending me photos, and you've been posting your videos, and you actually have a video where you break down your technique for a summertime bite, which I will link that video. I'm going to link your entire channel, but I'm going to link some of these individual videos having to do with the summer bite once we're done because they're actually very informative. He breaks down like his techniques and his setup, his baits, and everything. But let's talk about that because like I say, you are really on your game this summer with like you ain't pulling in dinks, brother. You pulling in some tanks. So can we go over like some of the main baits that have been your primary success?
All right, so I am really limited on what I have right now because most of my baits and rods and everything are actually at the place I fish right now. Just because I left them there because I work there. But so my main thing is throwing a Venom Lures Better Beaver. Now this is a 4.5-inch long bait, and when the sun is up and we have bluebird skies, I like to throw green pumpkin, and I'll actually dye the appendages with Spike It Dip and Glow. You've seen Roland Martin use it on his old videos back in the day on the old TV or on YouTube. Spike It Dip and Glow has been around for a while, and what that does is that actually mimics a bluegill because you get the green pumpkin and the chartreuse. I don't know why they say that mimics a bluegill, but I went with it and it works. Now, I'm throwing it on one of my custom football heads I make, and it actually screws in to the bait where you could basically make this like a Texas rig. Now, this jig head kind of looks like crap to me because it's just a random one I have laying around because all the other stuff's at the shop. But so you just screw it on here like this. Well, if I can get it on, usually they're hard to put back on, but it screws on, and then you just Texas rig the shank like you would normally do. And then what makes this bait actually really cool, I've been targeting a ladder for, I don't know, probably 3 weeks now, and I've caught a 5-pounder off that ladder at least once a week, and that's been the last 4 weeks. I've actually had a tough bite here recently, but when you throw this bait, it actually swims down just like this at a 45-degree angle, and it gets all these appendages kicking up. And what I do is, when I'm fishing in the 9 feet of water with this bait, I actually feel it slide down, and it comes towards me, and then it hits the floor or the bottom of the pond or lake, wherever you're fishing. I feel it. As soon as it hits the floor, I feel it thump.
You get that thump, and the adrenaline pumps. Oh man,
I had some issues with my mic there, but I felt it hit the bottom of the pond, and then that's when I knew it. So I keep my rods really tight, and I call that dead sticking. A lot of people know what dead sticking is, but for the people that don't, you keep max tension on your rod, and you want your line tight, so that way when the wind's blowing, you can feel that bite no matter what happens. And I have one video where you can literally see the bass hit it so hard, you see the line thump on the rod. And I set the hook, and she was a big fish, but just there's little key things you got to pick up on to catch big fish, and a lot of people overlook them. And a lot of people say people that catch big fish are lucky. Well, when you catch a couple of them, you kind of key on what's basically to catch them. Like, you can literally do multiple things to catch big fish that most people wouldn't see because they're so focused on catching a big fish. They don't take everything in and digest it and actually see what they're doing versus what they're not doing. But yeah. I don't know if you got anything to add to that. I mean,
well, I mean, here lately, the only thing big I'm catching is 20-pound gators. But
hey.
But the do it. Go ahead.
I ain't never caught a gator, so
yeah. Well, but I mean, honestly, the only thing that I mean, where I was fishing, I guess you would say, especially in the gator video, it was actually a combination of two different fishing trips. We had one where we were at one lake, and we had to stop, and then we because we had to go make a delivery for Don H's side business that he does. Actually, he's got two. The man's an entrepreneur, and then we went back and fished Hydrillus Lake, which is where we caught the which is where I caught the jack, or the pickerel, if you will, and the two gators. Now, the one thing and it's so funny because what I was catching them on was walking spooks. Like we threw everything under the sun. Then we threw jigs, we threw chatterbaits, we threw crankbaits, we threw whopper ploppers. I mean, we threw everything under the sun that day. And the only bite I got was on a swim bait, which I did catch a little bass. I mean, honestly, it was like, I don't even say it was a pound. It was probably, about like that, but it's maybe a pound. But that's, I had, it was a dinktastic day till the gators showed up. But but like I said, just with that, I guess it was swim bait was kind of more of a silver, so it had kind of a shad look to it, so it was easy to kind of distinguish it from shad. But the walking spooks were actually, and what I caught the pickerel or jack and the first gator on was one of the Livingston walking spooks you sent me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is like I said, that's pretty. I mean, I lost it. It kills me, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, I lost it, but it was kind of worth it for that experience. But like I say, the top order walking spooks have been what's really working for me. They haven't really hit anything else top order. Like even frogs haven't been working too well for me. But dude, I'm also going in some different areas.
The frogs and spooks have not worked at all for me yet for some reason, and
really,
it's probably the place I'm fishing because.
George, I'm sorry, dude. George Marshall showed up. The Gator King. Yeah.
What's going on, Marshall?
Sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
The one question I wanted to ask you, when you're throwing your jigs and your soft plastics and everything, what gear ratio are you running on your bait caster?
It's a 6-3 to 1, but I have to. I mean, that's always been what's worked for me. Because normally, like, my swim jig rod is also my chatterbait rod and what I use for a spinnerbait. Or, I mean, honestly, the swim jig rod is what I use normally for
moving baits.
For certain moving baits, but I use it for the jigs too. But I do have a flipping stick that I throw the flipping jigs on. Now, that one, if I'm not mistaken, now the gear ratio is not the big issue to me because normally where I'm flipping it, I'm just letting it drop and I'm just giving it a couple of hops in the vicinity of where I think the strike zone is. And I guess you would say I have not gotten into some areas where I've been able to throw like an ounce, punching flipping jig or anything like that, even though I do have some, but I haven't, I guess you would say, gotten to an area where I've had matted grass to where that would work, or at least where that would be more effective. So right now I'm on my flipping stick. I got I think I got a ½ ounce flipping jig on there. I'm fairly certain it's one of the Monster Bass flipping jigs that they came out with. and I fairly certain I have one of the. It's either a venom. It's one. It's one of the venom lures beavers on there. I can't remember the name brand of it off the top of my head because I have to remember a lot of other stuff. But it is one of the venom lures uh, beavers I got on there. So it definitely is. Like I say, it's been kind of a tough bite for me, but I've also been fishing mostly lakes, and I haven't really hit up any ponds. I just hadn't had a chance to, but I'm planning on waking up a little early tomorrow morning and going to hit up a pond, namely the pond where I rolled my kayak and my PB swimming. But but
that's another story for a different day.
Yeah, that's another story for a different day. Oh man. But yeah, that's primarily what I've been rolling with now. But like I said, the topwater bait, I'm honestly, it's the most topwater bites I've had have just been, I guess you would say, in areas that have had like a lot of trees and cover. Because I mean, like on that day we caught the gator, dude, it was so hot, and we had to. I mean, I was literally like having to throw the bait what seemed like almost 50 yards because it was. I was really chunking it out there. Those new VLD 10s on the Fitzgerald Fishing, those bait casters, they are amazing, dude, and they are so smooth, and it makes those long casts really easy. And that was how I was getting a bite, is because they were so skittish whenever we would try, to sneak, just kind of coast in on them. And the only time we got bites is when we were a good distance away from where the actual strike happened. So, but anyway, okay, Marshall, I'll be dragging a yak through a no trespass area tomorrow morning at 5. Go figure.
That sounds eventful.
Yes, it always is. I keep telling him he's going to get shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he ain't getting shot, he ain't doing it right.
Yeah. Anyway, Russell said, my dinner's screaming my name, so I'm going to jump off. Can't wait to check out his channel and see some giants. Bless everyone who reads this and the ones who don't. Well, Russell, thank you, brother. We appreciate you stopping in. Hope the dinner's good, man.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, so what else has been working for you? Because I think you said you actually were running some swim jigs, and I know you got a little delivery from Venom, which we'll go into in a minute. But you actually showed me a swim jig. Could you walk me through that and what you got set up on that?
All right, so when I was getting bit on this, it was actually overcast. We actually had a tropical depression come in. So there's actually 2 baits I'm going to show after the swim jig, because this actually goes hand in hand, which actually taught me how to figure out the bite for the day. So we had tropical depression come in, and we had a lot of rainwater rush off the banks into the water. And when you look at the banks, you have like brush and bushes coming out. The water went up underneath the bushes, and it probably came up a good almost, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 inches, half a foot, somewhere around there. And so I threw the swim jig first. We just literally just left the ramp, and we threw, and I had one chase me all the way to the boat, and he ate it. Like, it was one of those ones where you're just about to pull it out the water, and you felt that, that nice little tug down. He's only like 1.5 pounds, maybe. He was almost 2, but. And then I went to the bank, and I was like, okay, so I looked at the water temperature. We're at 88-degree water, which is really, like, hot. We're in 5 feet of water at 88 degrees. So I already knew not to go further back because it only gets shallower, right? Yeah. So I went towards the bank where it kind of dropped off to 6 to 7, and we're still in hot water. Same difference. And I threw the swim jig, which is right here. This is a Venom Lure swimming jig. It's actually bluegill colored. You can see that chartreuse, green pumpkin, a little bit of blue flake in it. And I actually put a natural shad, and then it's actually called a donkey snatcher. Old Elliot here thinks the donkey snatcher is hilarious. But
I've always cracked it by that.
Yeah, I dyed the tail with the chartreuse dip from the Spiky Dip and Glow. And the second bite I got with this jig, I threw it and let it sink. As soon as it hit bottom, he snagged it, and I caught him off a dock. Now, after I got that bite in that video, I basically said, okay, I got lucky with those 2 strikes. They're both reaction. So I was like, all right, we got all this water coming in. That's fresh water, cool water, right? So I looked at the bank. I told old Picnic, I said, I know exactly what they're doing, but I didn't tell him what I was doing because I wanted to take him to the woodshed, you know. So
Yeah.
with that being said, we had cloudy skies, no sun. I went with the June bug better beaver. Dark baits, dark sky, they can see it easier. I go with green pumpkin when we got bluebird skies because they can see it easier for some reason. That's what a chart said when I looked at it when I was a kid, and I've always stuck by it. But so I was chunking this better beaver on the Bubbaville custom baits football screw lock, shaky head, and I was literally putting this thing in the brush, like inches away from the shoreline. And I told Picnic, I was like, I know exactly what they're doing. I threw over there, held it for 2 seconds, had a fish. And then it was pretty awesome because at that time I basically knew. I was like, okay, we're gonna catch like 20 of them this day, right? So there was a tree that broke off right after that bank where I caught that one. I felt him bite and he let it go. I cast back in the tree at the same exact spot, and that's when I knew they were on trees and the brush line, and we ended up hooking a couple of them. And that's the story behind the swim jig and the better beaver from Venom Lures. That's June.
That is awesome. That's awesome. And that is a very good point that you brought out about when to throw certain colors. When it's dark and overcast, throw the dark black and blue. When it's a nice sunshiny day, throw the green pumpkin. That's great. I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone's ever said that on this channel, and yours included, or yours truly included. So that was something good, and thank you. I appreciate you bringing that because honestly, it might be something I'll try tomorrow.
And keep in mind, bluegill spawn is going on here. I don't know exactly if it's going on for you, but bluegill spawn is going on here. And if you match the bluegill, if you have a bluegill colored bait and you throw it on the shoreline, you come off the bed with the bluegill, there's going to be a bass within the next 5 or 6 yards just waiting to eat one.
They go, yeah. No, I'm fairly certain the bluegill beds are going. I mean, I know that they were going about a month or two ago. I know that there was a photo that one of the guys I normally fish with, his name's Michael Taylor. He's actually a pro on the BFA. And him and the guy that was fishing his boat, like in the Gator video, he was the guy that climbed onto our boat.
Oh, gotcha.
I was looking on the live scope, and it was brim or bluegill. He caught like this huge 15-pound catfish, and I think they caught like 4 or 5 bass over there just in that general vicinity. So I mean, that's definitely good advice that you just gave. So,
and if you have a good set of polarized sunglasses, when bluegill make beds, it looks like bluegill crop circles. You can't miss them.
Crop circles. That's a good one. Oh man, that's so funny. All righty. Well, oh gosh. Okay, sorry, I went blank for a minute. Well, anyway, so you've been using a lot of venoms, which is great, because I Venom Lures does rock, and we were talking about something because, like I said, we were talking about something before we got live. And it was something I wanted to bring up to you and ask your opinion on, because I've never seen a skirted jig or skirted plastic bait, which is what came in July's Monster Bass bag, the big baits 5-inch double skirted grub, which I'm going to open it here because I didn't open it in the video, but I should have done that. But
Gary Yamamoto actually makes one.
Oh, Gary, okay, but. Here's what I guess you'll see. I have to actually, I probably have to hold it up here where you have to see it like this. There you go. But I mean, it's got the coloration of the symbol shad. But like I said, I've never seen one that's been like this, where both the head and the tail are going to have motion to it. So I mean, it's like. It's going to be, like I said, I haven't had a chance to throw this yet, and I'm thinking I might give it a try tomorrow, maybe.
I've had luck with the green pumpkin Gary Yamamoto one. I think the only place I was able to get those at was Bass Pro Shops, but that was like way back in the day when I was like in high school fishing those. But I had good luck with like fishing them weightless in like really, really swampy creeks and stuff, like stuff that was flooded but had a main creek channel in it.
Yeah.
And you just throw them by the old cypress trees, and you know how that works. You either hit a gator or a bass.
Yeah, no kidding. Gator or a bass, no joke. Well, also, I mean, one of the things that is also starting to happen now is the shad schooling is starting, which the bass are, and you know that during that time, once the shad start schooling, the bass also start schooling themselves, and it becomes a feeding frenzy. And that is honestly in the past, whenever I was using a walking spook, I would always watch for when the bass, I guess you would say, herded up the shad. I would just throw the spook out in the middle of where they were, and that was where I would get like the hardest bites. Is when they were chasing those shad up top. But would you have any recommendations on what to throw to mimic shad?
Yes. All right. So you have two types of bait balls that you're going to be looking for. You have ones where they're flicking on top of the surface, and then you have ones that are submerged all the way at the bottom. Bass usually like to take massive amounts of bass. I'm talking like maybe 10 to 15 bass or more. Will actually school the bait up, and they like to push it on a point or get it stuck in the back of a cove. So the main thing you want to look for is watch for birds. Birds will tell you where the bait's at, and then the bait will tell you where the bass is at. Now, I have several different things I use to actually fish the bait balls with. One, if the bait ball's submerged, I'll use a 1/2 ounce or 1 ounce spinnerbait by Venom Lures. It's got a big gold willow and a small silver willow on there. I'll actually take this off so y'all can see it.
Huge. That is a huge spinnerbait, guys. Yeah, look at that. That is just a pretty spinnerbait.
But I'll throw that.
Dustin, I want one.
He actually just made a promotion with those things, like probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're called the Deep Eye. But,
Deep Eye, okay. Well, guys, you heard it here. Venom is also one of is one of my sponsors. It's also Bubba's too. Like Bubba and I have a lot of the same teams. Are on the same. We're on the same team with a lot of different brands. But Venom Lures definitely is it's a very growing. It's a growing name, and it's definitely you can see firsthand on Bubba's videos. It's getting the bites. So
as far as soft plastics go, I throw nothing but Venom. And another thing we can touch on is, how about we talk about the Fitzgerald rods?
Yes, I would love that we talked about that. See, I would have that here, but I'm in my living room, and I'm fairly certain, like, when the kids would come by, and I'd whack them in the head with it. But yes,
whether
please,
that's intentional or unintentional.
Well, that'll be up for you to guess, because I ain't gonna confess to which one it was. But So, what Fitzgerald rod are you throwing with your when you're flipping and pitching? And let's just go there. What are you Fitzgerald rod are you throwing with your flipping and pitching?
All right, so when I'm flipping and pitching anything from 3/4 or 1/2 ounce or 1 ounce, I'm running if y'all can see that, I'm running a Fitzgerald 7'6" all-purpose heavy. And what this rod allows me to do is, I have a lot of backbone, which they call it a broomstick, but
it's thick.
The eyelets are actually evenly spaced going down, and they're not super micro, but they're not big either. So you kind of get where you get the feel of the micro, but they're not just the big old eyelets where your line can get stuck on it and you get all kinds of crap stuck to it and whatever. But when I'm fishing my 7'6" heavy Fitzgerald all-purpose rod, I like to run it with either 15 or 17 pound fluorocarbon from Vicious Fishing. That's one of my other sponsors. I just like them because when you set into a fish, whether it feels like a cinder block, a log, a tire, a dock piling, you will move whatever it is that you're hooking.
Yes.
And he can attest to that with gators. I mean,
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. No, that's what's hilarious. I caught those on a topwater finesse rod. It's the Brian Thrift Series topwater finesse rod. It's I want to say I think it's 7 foot. And it's a medium heavy, but yeah, it's Brian Thrift's topwater finesse rod is what I caught the gators on. So when it comes to, these rods definitely can take the punishment and pounding, because that first gator was all of 20 pounds, if not a little bit more, but it still held up. There was no warping to it. There was no crack. I mean, it held up. And I was bringing it in on the VLD10, Fish Show Fishing VLD10 reel too, so it could definitely take that. And I was doing, and the line I was using was the Fish Show Fishing braid. It's the 4 times.
Versa?
It's a Versa. It's I think it's one of the Versas, but it's the 4X. It was the 30. It's 30-pound fluorocarbon with the same diameter as an 8-pound mono. So I mean,
that's pretty nasty.
It's very smooth. It's a very smooth cast and very smooth in coming back. But it held up to those gators too, so it was really awesome. But you're right when it comes to the broomstick, I guess you would say, because I'm fishing with something very similar to. I'm fishing with the 7'6", 7'6". I think it's 7'6". 7'6" Fish Show rods, hydrilla flipping stick. So whenever I'm using something very similar to yours,
or 6'8".
I thought it might. I think that one. No, that's. Wait, no, you're right. It might be 16 or 6'8". I'm not entirely sure. It's so much I gotta hold on to. It's taller than my swim jig rod, and swim jig rod is 7'6". So I know that. So, or not 7'6". I'm sorry. It's a little bit taller than that. Anyway, I'm gonna sit here and think about it all day. It's been a long day, but yes, the Fish Show rods definitely is definitely awesome. What are you using for the spinnerbait? Or are you using the same thing as what you use for the flipping sticks?
I actually casted this spinnerbait around for the first time today because I got my package in yesterday and I shot the video and put it up yesterday. But I'm actually running it on a medium heavy, believe it or not. I just have 15-pound line on there, and I don't prefer to run it on the medium heavy just because it puts a load on the rod tip. I would though with the heavy, but they're taking up my 2 whacking baits for summertime right now. So
yeah,
I kind of have to delegate the spinnerbait to the medium heavy. Now, if there's a case where the spinnerbait will excel, I will put it on the heavy, but just, it's on the medium heavy right now, which this rod's actually a lot skinnier than the other ones. Y'all could probably see that. I don't know if y'all can see that actually. It's kind of
I can see I can see the difference in it. Yeah, that's awesome.
What I actually like using the medium for is small Ned rig stuff, or I like throwing jerk baits with it, with like 12-pound line, slow reel. I've caught a lot of fish with jerk baits on the medium heavy all-purpose 7'6". But as far as the big ones go, the heavies, they actually have an extra heavy, which I'm going to dabble in a couple months from now. That's what I'm going to use for my flipping, not my flipping, but for my punching and topwater. They say the shorter the rod for topwater, the better it is to get hook sets because you don't have to sweep on them as bad. But and what's funny is you said Brian Thrift, or was it Brian Thrift? You're talking about the Brian Thrift topwater rod, right?
Yeah, the finesse rod, yes.
Yeah. Why is it finesse when topwater always goes out with a bang?
Well, I think that rod's more geared towards our walking spooks. I mean, something that and poppers. I don't really think it's geared towards whopper ploppers or buzz baits. I think it's more geared towards the smaller cylindrical baits and the ones that or that only require like the smallest of jerks to work. So I mean, because I think
it's talking more of a rod tip.
Yeah. I mean, the rod tip is. I mean, it's a good rod tip. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it pulled in really well, but I think you're going to be using a lot of baits that have treble hooks in them per se. So it won't require, I guess you would say, as much of a pullback. But I mean, it'll still give a good yank and have the backbone you need to make sure you set those treble hooks.
Well, that does make sense because when you're using treble hooks, if you have too much tip and too much butt on that rod, when you're actually, making it go walk the dog, you actually walk the dog right into that braid and get your stuff stuck. So if you have a tip that moves it quicker and easier, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does that. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely does that. It's always it's impressive. I mean, it hasn't done. I mean, the braid, like I said, I'm pretty good with keeping it up with it, and I never have to like have an issue like that. But the braid itself, and just like I say, if you sit there and watch the video where I'm walking the bait, because like I said, I lost that Livingston on the first gator, and the second gator bit down on the Monster Bass Patriot, which was the Monster Bass Band walking bait. Yeah,
that was the 3.0, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Oh man,
hey, I got a pretty sick one last month for that Patriot I had. It was like a purple and like blue. It was kind of like a blue like this.
Okay, yeah, I actually have two Patriots, and the other Patriot that caught the gator is actually on my topwater finesse rod right now. But I got another one, and I'm willing to bet you it's probably geared more to mimic. I want to say blueback herring, but I mean, like I said, I've only fished a few places that had blueback herring as a as a bait fish. So I haven't had much of a chance to observe their behavior. But I'm assuming they're just like shad. You know, they're like a variation of shad. Yeah, they go everywhere. So they're going to. So that's what that topwater mimicking is for that one. Because I wish I had the list of the colors in front of me. But it's if you want to look at the ones I got one that's it's a shad pattern that has I want to say kind of like a little bit of purple, some amber colors, as well as a clear belly on the bottom. And the other one that mimics the blueback herring it's almost kind of like a solid blue, but it almost has like some reflective yellow mixed in there too. So when I know what they're going for with that. They're doing kind of like a little flash reflection once when you're walking it, and the sun catches it just right. If the bass can't see the blue, they'll definitely see that yellow. So that's
one thing I wanted to add, just piggybacking on Monster Bass. I don't mean to interrupt you, but if y'all want to win a Monster Bass box each month, I give mine away as soon as I get it. So if y'all want to win a Monster Bass bag, I said box. I always say box, man.
Well, it's a habit, dude. I mean, the bag is something new. I mean, but you're right, because I mean, for like what 5 years, the subscriptions came in boxes, like with different companies. So yeah, it's a habit. It's just it's tied on. It's tied to the name, so it's going to be like that. Here we're going to look. I want to look in on the chat and see what we got.
Yeah, I'm interested in that 'cause
Fishing with T-Rex. Bubba always has good videos. Yes,
hey,
he
T-Rex,
does. Yes, he does, Thomas. That's Thomas. He's based out of California. Lucky Joker got to go to the Bassmaster Classic this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's subscribed to you. I was going to say go ahead and subscribe, but
he is. He knows you. Yes, I know, Thomas. I live in this small house, dude. It's kind of hard for me to. He's talking about my backdrop, but like back here. Yeah, I know. I got to work on it. We live in this small house, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard for me to set up. And the only place I guess you would say I have a real good place to set up is right next to the Wi-Fi. That's right here behind me. So this is about as good of a place as I can get until I can get us into a house that's a little bigger.
I'm running in the backwoods of four bars of 4D.
Yeah, but but he's actually, he's not hosting though. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Bubba's always had like over the past year I've watched Bubba's backdrop evolve, like to the flag, the green. I mean, like, and the thing is, that's his workshop. So his workshop is also his backdrop studio too. See, I mean, and for over a year, I've honestly told him, because he makes a lot of custom baits. Like I said, on his channel, you'll find a lot of informative stuff. So, anyone who is not subscribed to his channel, go there. I promise you, it's a wealth of knowledge. For someone so young, he's got kind of an old soul when it comes to the knowledge. He definitely has something that will be there for you, and I promise you will take something from his channel. But I've been trying to get. I was trying to get him to do it last year. in one of my videos that is all about a care package you sent me, and it was baits that he had made himself. And I mean, he sent me some Senkos. He sent me some of his custom screw locks, and he sent me some of his custom made chatterbaits or bladed jigs, which he calls the slobber knocker. Which, let me tell you, the first time I was a little skeptical at first before I threw it. And man, you want to talk about just all the skepticism gone. I threw this bait out there. And I remember it was the white chartreuse, and I had a Strike King swim bait paddle tail on the back of it. I threw that thing out there, and man, when I started cranking back and retrieving he wasn't lying to me. He warned me. He said, you need to know when you retrieve it, the tip of your rod is going to go nuts. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, let's see. And sure enough, it did, man. That thing just started going crazy. The way he has the blades on his bladed jigs, that thing gives off so much vibration and motion.
It'll actually vibrate the paint off the head from the coffin blade.
It will. That thing is so, but last year, some of the biggest bass I caught on a chatterbait was his custom-made chatterbait. And I've even said it, like there was one where Don H and I were in a pond, and the bite was kind of tough, but I ended up getting one. And sure enough, it was probably a good 3.5 pound bass that hit it, and it was on his bait. But in the first care package video I shot, it shows me catching these two bass. I mean, and one of them even like exploded. It's so funny because after I set the hook and got him up, he exploded and spit the trailer out. But that bait stayed hooked. So I mean, like I say, just make sure you guys go to Bubba's channel, because I promise you, anything that he has posted on there will be something to help you catch fish. And you will enjoy it. He's very informative, and like I say, he's young, but he has an old soul when it comes to fishing. So y'all make sure y'all definitely go there and check him out.
I appreciate that, man. And touching on my baits and stuff, I actually sold all my bait stuff that I used to make plastics because I got with Venom. And I think I've been with Venom over, I think, a year now.
It's been over a year.
I don't really make chatterbaits anymore. I mean, I might make a couple for a giveaway or something one day, but I was thinking for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway, I'm going to give away a Fitzgerald rod and reel with line on it, and then maybe like a pack of my heads, and then like maybe a 50 pack of beavers, and then that's not even done yet. Like, second trip's going to win something too. So,
all right, Deadgummit, I'm entering that one. I will enter that one. I know we're buds and brothers, but Deadgummit, that's an awesome care package to win. Oh my Lord! I haven't seen him in a while, but look who's here, Mr. Texas Huntsman himself.
Because it is nighttime. It's not Texas, sir.
Yeah. It's like, why are y'all in here, John? Y'all should be fishing. Yeah. Hold on. He goes, and I have seven Bubba knockers, and they're slayers. Yes, they are. They are awesome.
I think I made him like 8 of them one day. He paid me for them, and I sent them over to Texas.
Yep, that was awesome. Oh man, but yeah, like I said, just y'all make sure y'all go check out Bubba's channel. I promise you will not regret it. And you also have a chance for some giveaways. I know I haven't ran a giveaway in a while, but I promise you that's going to be changing.
Slacking.
Yeah, I'm slacking. Well, man, no, seriously, man, I have been slacking. I mean, honestly, I mean, there's something going on with the algorithm, because I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on here lately, because this is just
it's weird.
It's weird. I mean, I guarantee you, like, something is like kicked off the notifications, because it's driving me crazy. But anyway,
I get anywhere from 40 or 50 to 60 of the same people that I can count on. But when it comes to other stuff, like, you get those people and then that's it. And
yeah.
I'm really thankful for those people that we count on, because they're the normal people. But
yeah, the hardcore dedicated supporters, and you guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's why I do all my giveaways, to give tackle back in y'all's boxes. Like, y'all support us, and we're not the most knowledgeable or or fun people to watch, but we definitely try and we appreciate, and we want to give back to the people that just follow us all the time. But that's definitely something going on with that algorithm.
Yeah. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out. It gives me a headache just thinking about it. All right. Anything else you got? You mentioned you had just gotten a shipment of spinnerbaits. I know we already talked about the spinnerbaits, but or the one spinnerbait. But what different variations did you get? I mean, I know you got an ounce tied on. That's huge. I got to get me one of those.
All right, so I got to drop a shout out real quick because this person is the person that actually sparked my interest in buying more spinnerbaits and stuff because my selection was kind of terrible. But
I was gonna say antiquated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm famous for that. I stick with what works for me, but sometimes you gotta go out of the comfort zone and go try different stuff. But I want to give old Tim a shout out because he did 10 Horse Monty.
Oh, 10 Horse Monty, Mr. Gabriel Montgomery. My last guest on the live streaming. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. That man's also a wealth of knowledge, man. I wish the stream could have. I mean, I was happy he came on the stream, but it would have been so awesome to actually, because he kept losing the signal, so I had to end up getting him on a speaker on the phone. But that'd have been so cool if he would have been able to hold signal, and because they actually caught. I think they caught a smallmouth while we were on the chat. That would have been so awesome to get that on the live. But yes, Mr. Yeah, but continue talking. I'm sorry, dude.
The reason I want to shout out was because he actually made a video on what colors you should select for a blade, and he actually also talked about where and why you should throw certain ones. He was saying that you want to get spinnerbaits that are white with different colored willow blades for shad balls. That's what I was talking about earlier. And then the swim jig, he wants you to have kind of like a bluegill color or a white color to mimic a shad, so that way it's not as flashy, and you can kind of dictate where you want it to go in the water column. Because sometimes they don't want all those stumping blades and silver stuff.
Yeah. And you were cut.
Bladed jig.
You're warbling. You're cutting in and out, brother. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you were warbling a good bit.
Stuff's dying. But yeah, so he basically just talked about different selection of colors and why each one should work in certain categories. If Fitz is kind enough to go check out that video from 10 Horse Monty and link it in the description, we can help a brother by helping a brother, So y'all can check that out if y'all wanted to.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely link one of Gabe's video, or link that video that Gabe threw out. Okay. All right. T-Rex with Fishing with T-Rex says, I got a 2.8 crappie on a crankbait on Monday. That gum, dude. Really? Toad. That's a big freaking crappie, dude. Holy crap.
Dude, I caught a stringer of those one time, and I could not repeat it ever since.
Sorry. My little baby just walked in. I had to say hey to her. Sorry.
What'd you catch it on, T-Rex?
Yeah. What'd you catch it on, Thomas?
I'm sure it's something venom.
Yeah, you got to
or something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sorry, Christina brought the baby in for a second. Sorry, she's daddy's little princess. So, anyway, okay, so all right, so we went over that. What else do you got going on with you right now, dude? Because honestly, like I said, you went over breaking down a summertime bite, which I that was a very clever video for you to sit there and make.
I could talk about like the way the bottom contour and where they're at with creek channels and
because honestly, like I say, anything that has to do with that summer bite, that gives someone.
Look what I got.
Oh, look at that! He's got.
All right.
He's got the board.
Yes. You can actually thank Mr. Mike Iaconelli for giving me this idea. He does this crap all the time.
Thanks, Ike.
Except he's more animated and more crazy. But that's where Fitz comes in.
He is out of his mind, dude. He's out of his mind.
So the black line right here is actually the bank where the bank is right here. And the dock actually comes off, right? The dock's sitting in 9 feet of water. And for those of y'all that haven't seen my videos where I break this down, I actually have videos of actually set up. And my mic just went out. I don't know why, but my boat positioning is 9 feet of water. And we have a ladder right here. And I've cast to this ladder 9 feet of water. How many times? Am I good on audio?
Yeah, you keep warbling in and out. Like, seriously, like, are your headphones wireless?
Yes.
That might be why. You might be a little too far away, because when you're closer, you don't warble as bad.
All right. Well, I got my boat positioning here. We're in 9 feet of water, and I've been casting this ladder on this dock for 3 weeks now, and there's brush right in front of it. And like I said, I tossed this right next. I don't know what's going on with my mic, but So basically, just make this quick because I got to get off here soon at 9 o'clock.
We're approaching an hour, so we got to jump. But yeah, go ahead, man. Finish up.
So, in front of this dock, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, that's weird. In front of that dock, we have a creek channel that's sitting in 9 feet of water, and the tip of that dock is in 9 feet of water as well. So right around where that ladder's at, it's about 8 feet, and then it slowly goes up to 2 feet all the way to the shoreline. So what this tells me is you have fresh water coming in front of the dock, right? So if you're a worker and you're out in 100-degree water, well, weather, I should say, not water, but if you're in 100-degree weather and you see a tree over there, well, that tree is going to be 5 to 8 degrees cooler. So the fish are going down the highway with the current, right? And they're like, oh, look, there's a dock. They stop under the dock, and then where that creek channel is, and wherever you're having the wind actually play in this equation, the wind was actually coming across the dock south right in my face. So they were definitely hunkering down on the dock. And they had the creek channel, the dock, bait, and the wind keeping the bait under the dock. And that's why that dock's been so successful for me. So you want to look for a creek channel, some type of hard point or hard structure where they can hold on to it but still have all their necessities in the area. It's kind of like you go into the supermarket. Like you got the frozen section, you got the vegetable section, you got the meat place, and then the deli, and then, whatever else, snack food, candy, it's a smorgasbord down under that dock.
So that is another point I wanted to bring up, but you did it for me. But yeah, fishing the docks is also very important during this time of dog days of summer, because the bass are going to hunker where there is shade.
And one thing I must add is, when you're fishing a dock or any type of structure, just because you throw in there one time doesn't mean there's not a bass down there. Sometimes you have to throw 5 to 8 times, each side of the pole. Like you got a pole here, you throw here 8 times, you throw in front of it 8 times, you throw behind it, and on the left side. Sometimes that's what it takes. You gotta sit there and literally piss that bass off, put the bait on his head, and make him wear it. That's how it works. You give him a nice headdress. Yeah.
Well, anyway, brother, I want to say thank you for coming on. It was awesome to get you on the live, and I'm sorry it took so long for us to do it, but it definitely will not be the last time. And I definitely appreciate you bringing your knowledge to it, because it is definitely, like I say, it's definitely great to have you on and to just share your knowledge with everyone. Because, like I say, for a guy so young, you do have an old soul when it comes to fishing, so you definitely know what you're doing. And like I say, it's great. It was great to have you on, guys. Please make sure you go subscribe to Bubba's channel at Bubbaville Bassin. I will link it down in there once we disconnect from here, and of course with a few of his videos. Also, make sure you follow him on Instagram as well. He posts a lot of awesome pictures up there. Man, just thank you so much for coming on, and this was just an excellent live. It was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, man. And if any of my dudes down in here that are subscribed and have not checked out old Fishing with Fitz, go down there and smash the crap out of the like and subscribe button. He's always doing cool giveaways, and he's always making some type of funny video, whether it's a roast or a gator. Hey, next time you catch a gator, you need to put an Alex Rudd beard on the gator.
Oh God, that would be so funny. Oh God, oh man.
But
that would be so funny.
People.
Anyway, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming along. And like I said, make sure y'all click like and subscribe and go subscribe to Bubbaville. Guys, thank you so much.
Later, bro.
God bless. Later, brother. Later. We'll see you, man.